No, you're not tripping. This is the first time I feel like I've ever made a Vancouver Canucks pre-game video. We've done the pre-game streams in the past. We have done hype streams and all that over the past few years. But this is the first time there really is a lot to talk about heading into the Vancouver Canucks 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific game against Columbus tomorrow. Now, you could look at the tail of the tape and say, oh yeah, look at Columbus. They're 13, 21-9. The Canucks are a lot better. Last 5 games, Elias Pettersson has 12 points. Kirill Marchenko has 3. Pettersson has 7 goals in his last 5 games. Cole Sillinger has 3. Filip Hronek has 6 assists in his last 5 games. Adam Boqvist has 3. And then for plus-minus, Filip Hronek in his last 5 games has 11 points. Ivan Provorov, guess what? He's a +3. So everybody's 3 here in Columbus. It's weird, man. This team is not good this season. And Elvis Merzlikins, hey, we talked about him earlier today. He may be the starter, he may not be, who knows. There's going to be some shenanigans going on tomorrow. Mostly because this is a game that I feel the Vancouver Canucks could very well lose. And I'm going to go out there and say this right now. Canucks fans, waking up tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST to watch this game, do not be surprised if the Canucks lose. They have everything going against them right now, and here's why. You see, there was already an issue with a few of the other games in the NHL today, particularly this one. Detroit and Toronto is going on right now, but this game actually started a little bit later than it was supposed to. It got moved, and the reason for that is because the Detroit Red Wings were held up because of the snowstorm heading into Toronto today. They barely made it on time. They were able to get underway. The game is now 2-1. Toronto started the third, but there were already issues with some sports teams and their travel heading into this weekend's worth of festivities. We had a Buffalo Bills game that was postponed as well. There's a lot of weather stuff going on in that southeastern range of Canada, northeastern range of the US, you know, the Buffalo, Detroit, Toronto area-ish. And because the Canucks were in Buffalo yesterday, there was a very big part of their travel plan that got affected too. Take a look at the tweets made by Kate Pettersson, the Canucks reporter. Here's the update for the Canucks. They have crossed the border into Canada and they're on their way to Toronto by bus. They'll fly from Toronto to Columbus this evening. So we can assume that the Canucks are probably on a late plane to Columbus, Ohio for the game that will start tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST or 1 p.m. Whatever it is in Columbus. That's what it is. EST. My bad. I'm stupid. But that's really tight. And it's so tight that we even had some reporters going out there and saying, yeah, the Canucks are having their team meal today, the night before the Columbus game at Panda Express in Terminal 1 at Pearson Airport in Toronto. So, firstly, there's no issues at all. Team Panda all the way. But this kind of goes to show you, imagine that, the Vancouver Canucks hockey team having their team dinner at an airport terminal at the Pearson Airport eating fast food. Like, okay, Panda Express, fast food, debate it all you want. It's easily accessible food that you can get relatively quickly. I'm going to say fast food just because it's easier. But this is not what a professional hockey team would normally be doing under regular circumstances. But because they had to get themselves out of Buffalo and into Columbus, but they had to go through a detour in Canada to make that happen, this is the result. And to those going out there and saying, like, oh yeah, like they could have just taken a bus and they could have gone that way, well, let's go out there and look at the Google Maps, shall we? So this is the map that I wanted to show you all here. We're getting all geographical on the channel, hey? So on the top right here, you've got the KeyBank Center, which is Buffalo's hometown arena. And then all the way south, 5 hours through Cleveland, through Akron, you have yourselves Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. This is the route. If you wanted to go by car, it's 5.5 hours. And what the Canucks instead ended up doing was they took a drive from KeyBank Center all the way to Toronto, Pearson Airport over here, and then they're going to be flying out to Columbus that way. If we change this, go from KeyBank Center to Nationwide Arena, instead we'll go KeyBank Center to Pearson Airport in Toronto, Ontario, The drive is an hour 40. Okay, that's cool. It's a lot closer, and you don't have to go through all of the weather stuff that's going on in Buffalo. All this area with Erie, Cleveland, there are so many weather complications, so the fact that they're avoiding all of this and just going to the airport, and going from the airport to, let's change the destination here and everything on the Google Maps. Let's go over to Nationwide. Let's just say this here. And the flight here, if you wanted to do the flights, Pearson to Nationwide is just 1 hour long. So that's probably the way they're going to go. And it's one of these things where it's like, yeah, they could have gone the 5-hour route, but that's assuming no traffic and assuming no weather complications. Instead, they're taking the longer way, but technically the shorter way with this route with the extra bus ride and the plane. So the Canucks are going through a lot of travel. If they end up losing tomorrow against a Columbus team that admittedly is really bad, don't be surprised. They have gone through the ringer, and eating Panda Express as your team dinner the night before may be indicative of just the crazy loops and hurdles they've had to go out there to finish off this road trip. Because honestly, I'd rather have them play a game against a Columbus team already first overall in the NHL. Even if they lose, it's fine, because all of this is probably better than having to reschedule an entire trip back to Columbus in the middle of the season or at the end of the season. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the crazy Canucks traveling going on here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.